So my dear ones, now you have got a thorough idea on what education is, the etymological origin of the term education, then two different approaches to education, or types of two different types of attitude towards education. One is the concept that education is training the students or individuals with some predetermined aims and objectives in the minds of the teachers or the authority. And the second one is the concept that education is not mere imparting knowledge, but education is carrying out something. Education is bringing out something from the inner self of the individuals for helping them to develop these innate potentialities. And we have discussed the definitions given by different educationists such as Mahatma Gandhi, Swami Vivekananda, and Pestalozzi. And when we look at the definitions given by all these educationists, we would see that education is something which we bring out from the individuals for helping them to develop themselves. So I have created a definition, my own definition, by keeping all these factors in my mind. We have seen that education is not creating new behavior. Behavior is a term which is used to denote all the aspects of the personality of a person. So education is not creating behavior, because the behavioral pattern or the ingredients which need for some behavioral patterns and such things are already there in the individuals. Actually, we are modifying the behavior. For what we are modifying the behavior? Yes, can anyone answer my question? For what we are modifying the behavior? Actually, behavior is there. Actually, behavioral patterns are there. We know that there is something called language acquisition device. We are not teaching language, but we are modifying the capacity of learn the language which is already there in every person. So we are making modification. Why should we modify the behavior? What is the intention of modifying the behavior? Akshay, can you tell me why should we modify the behavior of a person? Even if we are not modifying the behavior, I think he will be able to live there. Yeah. Yes, Akshay, please.
Yes, sir. We can improve our characters through this.
Yes, for what we are improving?
Training.
Akshay, my question is, for what we are improving the characters? Even if we are not improving the characters, they will be able to live in the society. Yes, am I right?
Yes, sir.
That what is the importance of this modification of character?
For becoming a better person.
Yeah, for becoming a better person. That means you can lead two types of life in your society. Am I right? Yes?
Yes, sir.
You can live a meaningless life, a useless life, and you can lead a meaningful life. So I have told you two different items. You can lead two types of life in a society where you belong to. One is meaningful life and the other is useless life or meaningless life. Now, Atulya, can you tell me for what we are modifying the behavior of a person? By keeping these two items in your mind: meaningful life, meaningless life. Then for what we are modifying the behavior?
സർ എനിക്ക് തോന്നുന്നു മീനിങ്ഫുൾ ആയിട്ട് ജീവിക്കാൻ വേണ്ടിട്ട് നമ്മൾ എന്താണോ പഠിച്ചത് അല്ലെങ്കിൽ അത് നമ്മുടെ ജീവിതത്തിൽ അപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യാൻ വേണ്ടിട്ട് അല്ലെ പഠിച്ചതിന് ഒരു യൂസും ഇല്ലാത്ത അവസ്ഥ.
Yes, Atulya, you are right. Actually, so we are modifying the behavior of an individual to enable him to lead a meaningful life in the society where he belongs to. I do not know whether I told this one during the first semester, because when I was talking about the Vedic education, I just told about philosophy and such things. I feel so, but still we are going back. If I have already told. So this one. So we are modifying the behavior for making a person able to lead a meaningful life. So I joined all these things together and I have created a definition for education. I just kept the definitions given by these great people in my mind, and I just kept the etymological meanings or origin of the term education in my mind, and I just created a definition. This is a modern definition. Okay, actually I'm a person who is believing in some traditional aspects, but I have given a definition to the modern concept of education by keeping all these factors in my mind. And the definition is: education is the process of modifying the behavior of an individual to enable him to lead a meaningful life in the society to which he belongs. Got that? Yes. Education. I do not know whether I taught this definition during the first semester, because some topics, some similar topics were discussed during the first semester. If I told, then maybe this is a reminding for you. If I do not tell, if I did not tell, then this is a new information for you. So by keeping all these items in my mind, I have created this definition. Education is the process of modifying the behavior of an individual to make him able to lead a meaningful life in the society which he belongs to. Yes, got the definition? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Now we are entering today's topic. We have got some idea on education. We have got some definitions, and I have given you a general definition of mine, and you can create your own definitions by keeping all these factors in your mind. And I feel that some of the definitions created by you will be quoted by some people in the future. Yes, you can also do that. So today we are going to discuss another topic related to education: the factors which influence education. The factors which influence education. And before that, I may ask Fatima. Fatima, what are the different aspects of educational system? When you hear educational system, or when you hear the term education, what are the different items which come to your mind?
I think education means we have to
Yes.
upgrade our lifestyle.
Yeah, we have to upgrade our lifestyle. My question is, when you hear the term education, okay, when you think about school education, when you think about college education, what are the different things which come to your mind? What are the first things? For example, you have joined B.Ed course. So after joining the B.Ed course, I think you might be searching for something. What was it?
Searching for job.
Okay, that's all. That's the intention. For example, I think you might have got some suspense. What what I'm going to learn here? Yeah, what would be the method? Yes. Then the aspects related to education and educational system. That's my question.
We have to improve our knowledge.
Okay, solid. Fatima, you're telling the aims of education. So leave it there. Okay, you have got the idea. I think my question is not clear for you. Yes, it's all right. My question is, what are the different aspects related to educational system? Which, when you hear the term education, what are the different aspects which come to your mind? Yes, Hiba, can you tell me? Hiba. Hiba, are you there, Hiba? Yeah. What are the different aspects which you think? Yeah, you will be thinking about,
Teachers,
yeah, role of the teacher, yeah,
teachers,
yeah. Then
students.
when you select a course or after selecting a course, what will be you searching for first? Because you, for example, you have selected B.Ed course, and you might have got some suspense, some some queries in your mind about different aspects of B.Ed course. Yes, yes. I think you should you want to get a little more time. Okay, you can take your time. Kiba, I will come back. Then this question goes to, yeah,
Okay, sir.
yeah. I think I can ask this question to, yes, Afra. Can you tell me what are the different aspects which you keep in your mind when you hear some terms such as education? Afra,
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Um,
When you think about a school or when you think about a course, what are the basic items related to a particular course or a particular uh, yeah, course, a particular course of study?
Main thing is learning.
Yes, pardon?
Le- learning.
Yes, learning. For learning, actually, when you select a course, then what will you learn? General learning or something related to your, what is it?
Not general learning, related to our course itself.
Yes, related to your course means you will be looking for the topics where,
Yes.
from where you will get an idea of the topics which are discussed in a particular course.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes.
from where you will get an idea of the topics which are discussed in that particular course. From where, from which item you will get an idea. Then I may, yes, Afa, you can also take time. Then anyone else can tell the answer of my question.
Syllabus.
Yes, syllabus. That's right. That means curriculum. Okay.
Yeah, curriculum.
Then what are the other aspects related to education? Because we were talking different aspects of about different aspects of education during Vedic age when we were discussing the Vedic educational system. Curriculum, then
How topic are being discussed?
Yes,
Method of education,
methods of
discussion
teaching.
method or
Yeah, methods of teaching. Then
role of teacher.
role of teacher. Yes, yes, atmosphere, the circumstances. Then
Infrastructure.
yes, system.
Infrastructure.
Then aims of education. Yeah. Yes. Yes. So these are some aspects related to education. Aims of education, curriculum, methods of teaching, role of teacher, system of education, discipline, the code of discipline which we have to keep in a particular educational system. All these are some items related to education. And see, all these items are decided on the basis of different factors. And that is our topic, today's topic. This morning's topic is the factors that influence education. See, when we were talking about different educational systems, we saw that the aims of education during Vedic age were entirely different from the aims of education which were there during the Buddhist period. Am I right? Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes. What?
So, because of some aspects of the society, the aims were different. Similarly, the curricula were different during different ages. The curricula which were made use during the Buddhist period is different from the curricula which later used by Britishers in our country. Then methods of teaching also are different. If you look at the ancient teaching methods and if you look at the present teaching methods, you will see some difference. Role of teacher, then concept of value, concept of discipline, everything is different from era to era, from country to country, from society to society. And these are because of some factors. See, the aims of education in India will be or are different from the aims of education in China. It is because of some factor. The aims of education in India are different from the aims of education in Saudi Arabia because of some other factor. The curriculum of India is different from the curriculum of Saudi Arabia because of some factor. So, what are the different factors that influence education? I mean, that influence different aspects of education. I'm sorry now, the current supply is gone here. If I am to leave the meeting, please, what should I do, Jasil? Can I make anyone admin? This is Google Meet. What should I do?
You don't need to make anyone admin because it automatically transferred to someone else.
Okay, then I will do one thing. If I just leave, I'm forced to leave from the meeting, I will just use my mobile phone and I will come back. Okay. Meanwhile,
Okay.
if the current comes back, then okay, the problem will be naturally solved. Okay. So what are the different factors which influence education?
Sir, you may have to use the same mail
Yes.
ID for joining.
Okay, I will use the same mail. Okay, Jasil. Okay, current is now there. It has come back. Okay. What are the different factors? Okay, this question may be I think this question can be answered by Mariam B. Mariam B, what are the different factors which influence education? Well, I have given you some clues.
Various cultures.
Yes, various cultures. Then you can tell cultural factor, yeah, socio-cultural factor. You can tell, yeah, yes, Fatima, you're right, socio-cultural factor, because the aims of education may be.
ഓരോ നാട്ടിലെയും കൾച്ചർ വ്യത്യസ്തമായിരിക്കും. അപ്പോ ഓരോ രാജ്യത്തും അതാത് കൾച്ചർ ആയിരിക്കും വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിലേക്ക് വരേണ്ടത്.
So you can use the term. So you can make use of some technical terms. So Fatima has given a point, socio-cultural factor. Then some other factors. I think Mariam B has left from the meeting. Yeah, Mariam B, are you there? Or I think she has left because of some technical errors or some network issue. So my question goes to Fatima Mehrin. She also is not there. Yeah, Fatima Mehrin. Are you there? Maybe.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Mehrin. So there are different factors that influence educational system. And one factor has been told by Fatima, that is socio-cultural factor. What are the other factors?
Sir, political factor.
Political factors then? Yes.
Economic factor.
Economic factors, yes.
Then geographical factor.
Geographical factors, yes, you're right.
Sir, only these things come to mind.
Okay, so four points we have got. Some philosophical factors, then political factors, then economic factors, then geographical factors. Then Jessida, can you give a few more? Jessida, can you give me a few more? We have got 4 factors now. Political, socio-cultural, economic, and geographical factors. I think Jessida is not responding. Then, yes. Also, we can come back to Hiba because I told her that I would come back. Yes, Hiba, can you give us some factors?
Sir.
Yeah. So Jessida. Yeah. Please give me. Okay, Jessida, you just wait there. Hiba is giving some answer. Yes, Hiba, tell me. Different factors influence educational system. And Fatima told socio-cultural factors. Then Mehrin has given 3 factors that are political factors, economic factors, and geographical factors. Yes. Yeah. What are the factors which? Okay. Then I think I haven't heard what Hiba told. Yes. Well, I think so. Okay, Hiba. Then I will go back to Jessida. Jessida, just give me some other factors which influence education.
Technological.
Yes, technological factors. Then.
Language.
Okay, linguistic factors that may be included in. Okay, it's an amazing answer, but it can be included in cultural factors. Okay, socio-cultural factors. Okay, well, Jessida, then. So we can come back to Hiba. I think she's trying to give answer. Yeah, Hiba. Anything else? Sorry, I have got some message maybe
No,
from
thank
some
you
of your
for
friends.
getting.
Yes.
Infrastructure development.
Yes.
Classroom. Infrastructure.
Philosophical factor. Yeah. I cannot hear. As well. See, some of the factors you have given there. Then I told you that the aims of education, the curriculum of education, may be different from the curriculum of education or the aims of education or the teaching methods of education in India may be different from Saudi Arabia. What is the factor there? What is the factor there?
Religious
Religion.
factors also influence.
Religious factor. Yeah. Then I told you that education is the modification of behavior for enabling an individual to lead a meaningful life in the society where he belongs to. Life, something related to life, and that is the first and foremost factor which influence education. During the Vedic period, you saw that there were Purusharthas, and Purusharthas were a part of what? Then there were four noble truths. Four noble truths were a part of. Then, according to Rousseau, we have to throw the child into the bounty of nature. And this concept is a part of what? Naturalism. So philosophical factor. And this is the first factor which influences education. During the last semester, I told you that philosophy was view of life or vision of life. I may ask you whether I defined philosophy during the first semester. Yes, did I define philosophy during the first semester?
Yes, sir. You said that it is the way of life.
Yeah, it is the way of life. Philosophy is the view of life, and education is the way of life. The first factor which influences education is nothing else but philosophical factor. I told you that philosophy is a view of life. Again, I may ask you whether I did explain the etymological origin of the term philosophy during the first semester. Did I? Did I?
No.
No, sir.
No.
No.
So, though philosophical factor is one of the factors which influence education, a subtopic of our main topic, I may take a little more time to explain philosophy because you should get a thorough idea on philosophy when you discuss or when you learn something about different educational systems. And sometimes you may be asked some questions in your competitive examinations such as TET exam, CTET exam, PSC from this topic. Philosophy. Philosophy is a term which is derived from two Latin words. One is philo and the second is Sophia. Got? Philo and yes, philo and
Sophia.
Yeah. Philo and Sophia. Philo means, then I may ask you, has any one of you ever heard these two words? And do any one of you know the meaning of these words? Philo and Sophia.
I heard both words, but I don't know the meaning of them.
Yes, Amit had heard the terms before I told it, but he hasn't got any idea of the meanings. Okay.
What the meaning?
Anyone else? Does anyone else know the meaning of these two words? No. So I may tell you the meanings. Philo means love. Philo means love. and Sophia means wisdom.
Knowledge.
Oh, no, wisdom, yeah. Knowledge of wisdom, yes. And we have got another unit in this paper where we will discuss what is the difference between wisdom, what is the difference between knowledge, what is the difference between wisdom and knowledge, what is the difference between reasoning, what is the difference between logic, what is the difference between belief and truth, what is the difference between a skill and knowledge, what is the difference between training, teaching, yeah, different items. We will discuss all these things in the second unit, I think. Love of wisdom. Last year, I told you that philosophy is view of life or way of life. I have got my own view of life. Remit has got his own view of life. Sneha has got her own view of life. Muhsina has got her own view of life. So we tell that we have got our own philosophy. Yeah. I do not know whether the coming question is a repetition of some questions which I asked during the first semester. So I have got my own philosophy. But I have never addressed any person as philosopher. And my philosophy has not yet been included in any syllabus as a part of a philosophy. Then I may ask you, Sneha, I have told that you have got your own philosophy. Have you ever been called a philosopher in your life? Have you ever been called a philosopher? Has anyone called you a philosopher? Sorry, some messages are coming. Yes, Sneha. Tell me. Sneha. I think some of you are not able to answer my questions because of some technical errors. Okay, well, because rain is there. So maybe because of some technical errors, you are not able to answer my question. So I have told that Muhsina has got her own philosophy. And Muhsina, have you ever been called by any person as philosopher?
Sir,
Yes. Yes, my question is,
Please
have you
repeat the
ever
question.
been called? Have you ever been called by any person as a philosopher?
I never called, sir.
Yes, no, you haven't been called. So see, all of us have got some view of life or vision of life, but no one calls us philosopher, or no one considers our philosophy as a part of philosophy. Why? In simple words, philosophy is view of life or vision of life. But if you're asked to define philosophy in its technical terms, it is something else. Because we never consider the vision of life given by all the people as philosophy. We consider something as philosophy only when it is coming from some people. Why? Then what is philosophy? So before getting the answer for that question, again, I may ask you another question. I do not know whether I asked this question during the first semester. I do not know whether it asked. I think all of you might have written at least one poem or story in your life. Yes? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
And some of the items might have been published in our college magazine. Yeah. I have written lots of stories, and all the stories have been published in college magazines. But I'm not known as a writer. And I think all of you might have written something, but no one calls us writer because we call a person writer or an author when he is writing something creatively, yeah, different from others. Okay, when you're writing something in a different manner, when you're writing something by using a different style of writing, when you're approaching a theme in a different attitude, then only you are called a writer. So we are calling a person writer. We are giving a title of the writer to a person only when he is writing something in a different manner which has not been used by any other in this world. We are looking at the style of writing, style of presentation, the selection of words. And we call some people writers when they are able to select different words. They're able to make use of a different style of presentation. And you will learn in your psychology. I do not know whether you have already learned creativity. Now, creative thinking. Creative thinking is divergent thinking. Yes. So we are calling some people writers when they are writing something in a different manner. And we call some items novels, stories, or writing pieces when they are written in a different manner, when they are written in a creative manner. Now tell me, what is philosophy? I told you that each and every person has got his or her own philosophy. But most of the people are not called philosophers, and most of the philosophies of people are not considered as philosophy. Then what is philosophy?
Philosophers are those who make something new system of thought.
Yes, philosophers are those people who introduce something different or who make something new.
New.
And go back to the etymological origin. See, I think you're not being bored. Yeah, are you getting bored?
No, sir.
No, sir. No, sir.
And see, I will be reducing the usage of PowerPoint presentations day by day. I use lots of PowerPoint presentations during the first semester, and during the second semester too, I will be using a few PowerPoint presentations. And during the fourth semester, I will not be using more PowerPoint presentations because when we use PowerPoint presentations, we are not getting enough time for discussion. And nowadays, as I told you earlier, most of the people are writing the answers for paragraph questions in examinations by using the PowerPoint points without explaining each and every point in a paragraph. And people are losing their explanation skill nowadays. Each and every person has got some pieces of information, but no one is able to explain the points in their own words. And this is because of this damn and PowerPoint culture. I will tell it PowerPoint culture. And PowerPoint presentation is introduced by Americans. It was introduced by Americans. And now studies show that most of the Americans are not making use of PowerPoint presentations for teaching the items. I have heard that the owner of Apple, late Steve Jobs, was not allowing his siblings, his offsprings, his sons and daughters to use mobile phones because they know the negative aspects. I mean the excess usage, okay, the excessive usage. So I will be making use of this technique for discussing different topics during the coming days. We have to discuss, we have to ask questions, we have to combine different aspects of different topics by using our own common sense, by using our own thinking capacity, by using our own reasoning power. Yes? So, David told, philosophers are some people who are introducing something new. Then they are going back to the etymological origin of the word philosophy, that is philo and sophia, love of wisdom. So we can rearrange the definition given by Demit. So philosophy is some different views of life, okay? Or I will tell reflective thoughts, some higher thoughts. We have got our own philosophy of life, but we have got such a philosophy as a part of our life by observing others or by getting some knowledge from others or by imitating others. But some other people observe life and different aspects of life in a different manner. At what aspect of their personality allows them to have such a different manner, and that is wisdom. Yes, philosophia, love of wisdom. That means philosophy is a reflective thoughts on life and different aspects related to life put forth by some wise men by using their wisdom. Got it? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So this is the technical definition you can give for philosophy. Yeah. Philosophy is some reflective thought. So we can use the term used by David. Some different vision, some novel vision, which no one else did put forth in the past. Philosophy is some novel vision or some different vision, some creative vision on life and different aspects related to life put forth by some people, some particular persons by using their wisdom. Wisdom is different from knowledge. I will give more idea on wisdom when we discuss some items in the next unit. Wisdom is the ability to make use of your knowledge as per the circumstances demand. Knowledge you can get by using your intelligence. Okay, if you have got an intelligent mind, I mean the grasping power, then by listening to others or by reading some books, you can get knowledge. But you may not be able to make use of this knowledge as the situation demands. That is something else. We call some people wise only when they are able to make use of their knowledge as per the situation requires, demands. So philosophy is the reflective thoughts on life and related aspects. Yes. So I told you that education is the process of modifying the behavior of an individual to enable him lead a meaningful life. Look here. Meaningful life. Yes. Meaningful life. Just underline that. Go back to philosophy. Philosophy is view of life. That means philosophy tells you what life is. So I may just mention 3 branches of philosophy before moving to another topic. Has anyone got any idea on 3 branches of philosophy? There are 3 branches.
Epistemology.
Yeah. Yes, epistemology is there, Pranit.
Ontology.
What do you mean by ontology?
It is a basic assumption about the world.
Okay, that comes under this one, metaphysics. Okay, or we talk metaphysics. Metaphysics, then epistemology, then axiology. And see, these items are not included in our syllabus. Actually, we will talk about schools of philosophy later. But the matter is that whenever you discuss or you learn something about education, you should get a thorough idea on philosophy and different aspects of philosophy. I feel that it will be useful for you throughout your life when you learn different types of schools of philosophy. So itself, I'm taking more time for discussing this factor. I will not be giving more time to political factors, economic factors, and such factors. But I give more importance to philosophical factors because this is a base for learning something related to education. So, let me talk metaphysics, then epistemology, then axiology. These are the 3 branches of philosophy. What is metaphysics? Just look at the term metaphysics, beyond physics. Metaphysics is the branch of philosophy which tells us what real life is. What is the ultimate reality in our life? For what we are living? What is the real aims of life? What are the real aims of life? See, we have seen the metaphysics of Vedic philosophy, yes? Yeah. According to the metaphysics of Vedic philosophy, the ultimate aim of life is reaching moksha. Life is not material. Life is not for enjoying the material pleasure, but it is for enjoying the spiritual satisfaction, having the spiritual satisfaction. This is idea. The ideology of a particular school of philosophy is called metaphysics. So if you are asked a question, what is metaphysics? You can just answer the question. Metaphysics is the branch of philosophy, that branch of philosophy which explains the ultimate reality in our life, which answers the questions such as what is life, what are the aims and objectives of life, for what we are living, for what aspect of life should be given more importance, whether the spiritual aspect or whether the material aspect, or whether we have to give any importance to spiritual aspect, whether there is something called spiritual aspect. It depends upon the school of philosophy. Yeah. So I think you have got it. Metaphysics means the ideology. Yes? Yes, got idea? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So different philosophy has got different philosophies have got different metaphysics. Idealism has got a particular metaphysics. Naturalism has got some other metaphysics. Pragmatism has got something else. Vedic philosophy has got some metaphysics, and Buddhism has got some other metaphysics. Yeah, we have seen Four Noble Truths. Yeah, it's a part of metaphysics of Buddhism. So metaphysics is the branch of philosophy which deals with the ultimate reality of our life. So I'm continuing, okay, because we have got 2 hours. Actually, I was not aware of time. I had thought that I would give you a 5 minutes interval after 10:15, but now it is 10:30. So we have to wind it up at 11 o'clock. So may I continue? Yeah. May I
Yes, sir.
continue? Yes, thank you.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Then comes epistemology. Epistemology is that branch of philosophy which deals with knowledge, which answers the questions such as what is knowledge, from where we have to get knowledge, who should give you knowledge, how should we get knowledge, whether knowledge should be considered as something sacred, or whether knowledge should be considered as something else, whether knowledge should be considered as an economic good or not. What are the aims of knowledge? What are the aims of getting knowledge? That means what are the aims of getting education? These are included in epistemology. So epistemology is the branch of philosophy which deals with different aspects of knowledge. Yes, different areas related to knowledge. What should be the role of the teacher? Whether there should be a democratic role, or whether teacher should be the center, whether learners should be the center. All these aspects are discussed by epistemology. So just keep this one. Metaphysics is the ideology, that it tells what is life, what is real life, what is true life, what are the aims of life, for what we are living. Yeah. And epistemology tells about different aspects of knowledge. Then comes the third and last one, axiology. Any idea? Any idea on axiology?
I think it is includes premises and conclusion sort of things. Like.
Yeah. Let's look at it. Yeah. Anyone else? So axiology is the branch of philosophy which discusses aspects related to values. Yes. What are values? Whether values are absolute or whether values are dynamic. Whether we can change our values on the basis of circumstances. Who determines values? Whether the older generation determines values, or whether each and every individual can decide his own values. Such questions are there. Whether values are absolute. According to Vedic philosophy, most of the ancient philosophies keep that values are absolute. We will discuss all these things when we discuss something about schools of philosophy. When we discuss, I use discuss about, never use discuss about. Discuss means talk about something. So you can just discuss the topic. Don't discuss about the topic. It is wrong. It is a wrong usage. So we will discuss idealism, pragmatism, naturalism, pragmatism, humanism, then existentialism and futurism. Then we can discuss all these things there. So values. Axiology deals with values. Axiology of idealism is different from axiology of naturalism. Axiology of naturalism is different from axiology of pragmatism. So axiology is the branch of philosophy which discusses different aspects related to values. Yes. Now, again, we can look at the factor, philosophical factor. See, I told that aims of education. Okay. How should we select the aims of education? Yes. See, we discuss the aims of education during the Vedic age. Do you remember the aims of education during the Vedic age? The aims of education during the Vedic age. Yes. Vishnupriya, do you remember the aims of education during the Vedic age?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
There are two aims. Ultimate aim, immediate aim is there.
Yes, actually, for what they were giving education to individuals, for making them able to. Yes, the ultimate aim of life, making them able to realize moksha. Yes, reach the position of moksha. Then, for making the individuals able to follow dharma in their life. Yes. So you know that all these items, dharma, artha, kama, and moksha, were the part of Vedic philosophy. Yes, am I right? Am I right?
Yes.
Yes. That means that the aims of education of a particular society will be decided by the philosophy of that particular society. Yes, right?
Yes, sir.
So if you look at this concept, you will see that each and every aspect of education is determined by philosophy. Aims of education, then curriculum of education, methods of teaching in educational system, then discipline or code of discipline. All these items are decided by philosophy. Actually, it is told that education is the dynamic side of philosophy. Education is the dynamic side of philosophy. Because education defines what a meaningful life is. Right? Philosophy defines. So philosophy tells you what a meaningful life is, and education is the process or way by which you reach that meaningful life. For example, Vedic philosophy tells you that your life will be meaningful only when you are able to reach the stage of moksha at the end of your life. So, the first aim of education during the Vedic age is to reach that meaningful life, to acquire that meaningful life. So the first aim of education during the Vedic age was to make a man or to make an individual able to reach that stage of moksha. So each and every aspect, curriculum, also you look at the curriculum of Vedic period, you look at the curriculum of Buddhist period, you look at the curriculum of Islamic period, you look at the curriculum of British period, and you look at the curriculum promoted by idealism, naturalism, pragmatism, humanism, and existentialism. You will see that the curriculum is related to the philosophy of a particular society. Look at the teaching methods. You will see the role of the teacher and the teaching methods are different in idealism, pragmatism, naturalism, and different schools of philosophy. So each and every aspect of education is determined by philosophy. Philosophy tells or philosophy defines different aspects, and education is the way. So itself, education is called the dynamic side of philosophy. Philosophy is static. Philosophy is static, and education is dynamic. So I use some examples for this. But see, if you are asked a question, what is the relationship between education and philosophy? Actually, you should tell all these things first. Don't tell the examples I use. I use some examples for explaining the relationship between philosophy and education. If philosophy is the script, education is what? Education is what? Yes.
Education is the way.
If philosophy is the script, then education is the play. Yes. And Shakespeare has told that our life is a play. Yeah. So you live by following the script created by philosophy. For education, if philosophy is the script, then education is the play. If philosophy is the ticket, education is the vehicle by which you are traveling for reaching the destination defined by philosophy. If philosophy is the coach, education is the game. Got the ideas? Got it?
Yes, sir.
So philosophy defines meaningful life.
Yes, sir.
Philosophy tells you how should you get knowledge. Philosophy tells you what is knowledge. Philosophy tells you how should you get knowledge. Philosophy tells you for what you are getting knowledge. And on the basis of these instructions or concepts or ideas given by a particular philosophy, you are preparing your curriculum. You are preparing the aims of education. You are thinking about different methods of teaching. You are thinking about the role of the teacher. So education is the dynamic side of philosophy. Or it is told that without philosophy, education will be a failure. Without philosophy, education will be a blind attempt. Because without plan, if philosophy is a plan, education is the execution of that plan. If there is no plan, the process will be aimless. The process will be useless. The process will be a failure. The process will be a blind effort. So philosophy decides each and everything related to education. So this is a factor. See, if you are asked a paragraph question on what are the different factors which influence education, you don't need to explain all these things. You can just give a gist of what I thought. I have just explained all these things just for making you able to realize or able to get a thorough idea on philosophy and different aspects of philosophy. Now we can come back. The second factor is socio-cultural factor.
Sir,
Yeah.
sir, നമ്മുടെ ഇപ്പോഴത്തെ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷൻ സിസ്റ്റത്തിന്റെ ഫിലോസഫി എന്താ?
Now, actually, I think we are following pragmatism. We will learn something about pragmatism during the coming days. Your third unit or fourth unit is also philosophy. And I believe that nowadays we are following pragmatism. Is that right, Jasmina?
Okay, sir.
I think so. You can analyze, okay, after learning all these things, after you have already learned Vedic philosophy and the concepts of education, then you have learned Buddhist philosophy and the concepts of education. Then we have learned some educational aspects of British period. Now we will be looking at different isms, different philosophies, schools of philosophy which have come in the world, all over the world. Idealism, naturalism, pragmatism, humanism, existentialism, and futurism. And I think after getting an idea of all these philosophies, then you can analyze. You can analyze the present educational system, and you can find which philosophy we follow nowadays. I feel that we are following pragmatism. So we have got so many problems. Okay, we can discuss it later. So this is philosophical factor. So the matter is that each and every aspect of related to education are decided by philosophy, because you can see a different curriculum, a different methods of teaching in a communist country because of the communist philosophy. Okay, and it may be considered as a part of political aspect also. Okay, but then second one is socio-cultural factor. Do you believe that socio-cultural factor influences the educational system? Yes. Asia.
Definitely, sir.
Yeah. Then okay. Who is the person? Who is the person who just started answering my question? Because I see some other name. I think she's using the mobile phone or some phone else. Okay. Who is that?
Farsana, sir.
Yes, Farsana, tell me. Yes, Farsana, tell me. What do you feel?
അതെ സർ, നമ്മുടെ സമൂഹത്തിന്റെ സ്വഭാവം എന്താണോ അതിന്റെ വ്യൂ എന്താണോ, അതുപോലെ തന്നെ നമ്മൾ ബിലോങ് ചെയ്യുന്ന കൾച്ചർ എന്താണോ, അതെന്തായാലും നമ്മുടെ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിന്റെ ലക്ഷ്യമായിട്ട് മാറും. അതിന്റെ ബേസിലായിരിക്കും നമ്മുടെ വിദ്യാഭ്യാസത്തിന്റെ ലക്ഷ്യം തീരുമാനിക്കപ്പെടുന്നത്.
Yes, you're right. You're right, Farsana. Again, I'm going back to the definition I have given you. Education is the process of modifying the behavior of a person to enable him to lead a meaningful life in the society to which he belongs. And see, sometimes we may not be able to live a meaningful life in an American society by giving a particular type of education which is given in India. Yes, you can see different types of styles. Culture is different. But nowadays, there is a change because we will discuss something else. I have included a new factor this year. Okay. Since last year, I was not telling about that factor. And this year, I have included another factor which influences education, and it is international factor. Now there is a difference because the difference in different cultural items, it is decreased now, yeah, after the emergence of globalization. But still, we are giving, actually, you should be able to lead a meaningful life in the society where you belong to. Because other people will be judging you, and you have to follow the rules and regulations of a particular society. We will tell the functions of education, and we will tell about social control. So there are some social norms and regulations in different countries, in different societies, and we will be thrown out of the mainstream society if we are not able to cope up with the common norms and regulations. Maybe you may be opposing, okay? You can oppose. Sometimes you may be feeling that it is something which intrudes in the individual freedom. Okay, that's your argument. Okay, maybe there, because naturalism tells so. But the matter is that if we have to lead a meaningful life in a society, we should be able to cope up with the social norms of a particular society. So when you prepare curriculum, you should think about the social backgrounds, the cultural backgrounds. We have seen the educational concept of Mahatma Gandhi. He was arguing that education should be given in mother tongue. It's a factor related to our culture, language. Yes, language is a factor. It's a part of our culture. So when you prepare curriculum for the young children, sometimes you may have to select their language. Otherwise, sometimes they will not be able to express their views. And we have seen that education is providing opportunity for natural development of a child. That means he should be able to express himself. And if you are not allowing them to make use of their mother tongue, sometimes they may not be able to show their caliber, show their innate talent. So language is a part of a culture. And maybe some social backgrounds. You have to look at the social backgrounds. For example, in some societies, people are not ready to send their girl children to schools. And it may be because they feel that their girl children are not safe at schools. Then you may have to appoint more lady teachers in school. Okay, it's a part. And if there are, I'll tell some example. Okay, maybe in some societies, because Operation Blackboard, I think you might have heard about Operation Blackboard, a part of the policy of 1986 education policy. And as a part of Operation Blackboard, government declared that they will appoint at least one woman teacher in a primary school. It was just because of the socio-cultural factor, because most of the parents were not ready to send their girl children into school if there was no lady teacher. A part of socio-cultural factor. So when you prepare curriculum, or when you prepare aims of education, or when you prepare the role of teacher, or when you prepare the methods of teaching, you should think about the socio-cultural factor. It also influences our educational system. So you can tell me some other points related to this socio-cultural factor if you have one. Yes, last year we told about culturally responsive pedagogy. Yeah, you're right. I think you remember.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So pedagogy means teaching science. So you cannot teach all the students in a general manner. See, if you are teaching in a European country, sometimes you may be able to teach all the people in a particular language, that is English. Yeah. But when you are teaching in a state like Kerala or in India, you may not be able to make use of a single language. You may have to use different dialects. Because as we have seen, India is a country of lots of social diversities. It has got 22 official languages, and it has got more than 1,600 languages and some 6,000 varieties. So you may have to use culturally responsive pedagogy as a part of the socio-cultural factor of your society. So anything else? If anyone has got any other idea related to this socio-cultural factor, please share. Nothing? Think about the literature, yeah. Yes. As a part of the language learning, sometimes you will be including some literature. Then you have to look at the socio-cultural factor. Yes. Yes, you have to look at the socio-cultural factor. So socio-cultural factor is a part of educational system. It also influences educational system. Then what Mehrin taught, political factor. Do you believe that political factor influences educational system? Sumaya, what do you feel? Sumaya, what do you feel? How does political, yeah, yes. I think she's not able to give the answer. Is there any technical error?
Factor.
Yeah.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, tell me, Sumaya.
Hello.
Yes, tell me. Yeah. Yes, I'm able to hear you, Sumaya. Tell me. Please.
Political factor influence ആക്കുന്നുണ്ട്.
Yeah.
ടീച്ചറിന്റെ റോള്
Yeah. Yes.
കരിക്കുലം അങ്ങനെ
Yes, we can take an example. See, you see, the aims of education or the curriculum of education in a country is decided by the policy of the political party which is on power. You just look at the concepts of education, or you just look at the policies. The policies which had been kept by the Congress governments are different, or very different from the policies which nowadays BJP government keeps. You can look at, yeah.
പൊളിറ്റിക്കൽ ഫാക്ടേഴ്സ് എഡ്യൂക്കേഷനെ ഇൻഫ്ലുവൻസ് ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ശരിക്കും നമ്മുടെ എഡ്യൂക്കേഷണൽ സിസ്റ്റത്തിന്റെ ആ ഒരു മഹത്വം ഇല്ലാതാവല്ലേ ചെയ്യുന്നത്?
Yes, Fatima, you're right. It's another discussion. Actually, maybe it may be positive or negative, but it influences, right? But it does influence, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it influences, and we have to discuss whether it is right or not. That is the topic of another discussion, but it influences. If we look at different countries of different eras, we will see that I think now 12 people have left. I think they have left because of some technical errors, not because of they just wanted to leave the class. I do not know, because now 37 people are there. That means about 46 people were there, I think, today. 4 people were absent, and no one had informed me that he or she would be absent beforehand. I think you will keep your honesty and regularity. Yeah. So now 37 are there, and still it is 10:55. And if people are going outside the classroom deliberately, I will not be blaming you, but it will be against the ethics, because you are going to be teachers. And just think, when you are teaching your students, if the students are just leaving the class without getting the permission of the teacher, you can think about that. I do not know whether they have got some technical error, and no one has sent any message to my WhatsApp that so Vrinda was not able to join. She has sent a message, and all others have left, but no one. Yeah. Yes. Vrinda is there. Okay, Vrinda. Yeah. But now only 37 people are there. Maybe then my concept, maybe sometimes they just got bored and they just left the class, or they just left the class because they have got some other engagement, or they left the class because of some technical errors. But I do not know what happened there. So leave it there. That is up to you. I will not be blaming any one of you, because you can keep yourself disciplined. Well, so now the time is 10:56, so we haven't got enough time for discussing more. So political factor will influence. You can see that the aims of education will be different when BJP government is there in India, and it will be different when the Congress government will be there. And it will be different in Kerala, and it will be different in Maharashtra, because in Kerala, now Communist Party is on power, and in Maharashtra now Congress plus Shiva Sena plus NCP is there. And you look at UP, there is BJP, and you look at West Bengal, then you can see that Mamata Banerjee is there. And you look at Tamil Nadu, you see Stalin is there. So maybe some political influences in the case of education, because actually government decides policy. And government means some political party on power. So everything will be decided by that political party which is on power. So political factor also influences education. So philosophical factor, socio-cultural factor, and political factor. And during the next hour, we have to discuss other factors, geographical factors, religious factors, physical factors, psychological factors, then economic factors, then international factors. Time is 10:58. Then we have to stop the class now. See, I was not blaming you because I do not know what is the real factor behind leaving the class before the end of the class. Maybe because of some technical error, I do not know. Maybe because I believe all of you, but still as a teacher, I have to ensure discipline. If I'm not able to ensure discipline, just telling that I'm keeping some friendship with you, it is not. Yes, I consider all of you just like friends or just like brothers and sisters, and I want to be democratic in the classroom. But at the same time, I have to keep the discipline. That's my duty, and I have told you that I do everything as a part of my duty. Sometimes you praise me because I am giving you, by telling that I am giving you some privileges, but these are not privileges. Actually, these are your rights. So I'm most concerned about my duties. That is because I get salary, so I have to fulfill my duty. So itself, I ask these questions. I do not know whether they have left because of some technical errors and such things. Thank you very much. It is 11 o'clock. You can just leave the class.
Thank you, sir.
Sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Welcome.
Thank you.